All right, y'all boys, we back with another video. So today we are going to be going over the newest character on the global side, which is going to be the SSR Yuki. Now, let's just go to him real quick before we start getting into him. We're going to try to make this as quick as possible, right? To kind of give you an introduction to the character and what he does. I'm not going to try to go too in-depth. I know people's retention is very not that good, to be honest. So basically, he's the intro to the Global's half anniversary, and he's more so a character to kind of like celebrate the conclusion of the original story of the Phantom Parade game. But he's very similar to the rare Kaito. So he is a support character who can provide cursed energy for your team. But I'll get straight to the point. He's, I'd say, arguably worse than the rare Kaito in that role, and very much considered more inferior to his rare version, which is quite sad because it's like, why would you ever pull character, right? Now we have his auto skill, which is going to be Curse Energy Support. Will only start after 2 turns have passed, and once you are on turn 3, he'll recover all allies' Curse Energy by 5, but only if his Cursed Energy is 30 or above. Now this seems pretty decent at first, but he has struggles keeping his own Cursed Energy since he excludes himself from his own effect, which is dumb. Having a Cursed Energy requirement to give others Cursed Energy works well with characters like the JJK Zero Ghetto, who gets 20 Cursed Energy every turn, but not with someone like Kaito. His skill 2 is probably SSR Kaito's most important skill and what you'll be using the most. It increases all yellow allies damage by 15% for 3 turns, and if your Cursed Energy is 30 or above, it will recover all allies' Cursed Energy by 14 for 2 turns, not including himself again. On top of that, he does reduce his own Cursed Energy by 5. So as you can probably already tell, that skill is supposed to be SSR Kaito's heart, but it has a lot of issues that hold him back from being great. So first, he gets like reduced to being a yellow only support for damage. His damage buff isn't great either. Second, he has yet again a Curse Energy requirement to, give his allies Curse Energy, and then on top of that, he greases himself by reducing his own Curse Energy by an additional 5 while already having issues maintaining his Curse Energy above the requirements. So yeah, I can see why the devs thought this skill would be, should be superior to rare Kaito. SSR Kaito's skill 2 buffs your allies, cost less Curse Energy to use, and his passive he technically generates as much Curse Energy as rare Kaito, but in practice he's worse than rare Kaito for the first few turns, which are essential in using him. Plus, as mentioned, his damage support isn't worth it. Now his skill 3 is a pure utility skill. It decreases the enemy's damage dealt by 27% and has a 120% chance to stun. It also decreases all yellow allies damage received by 37%. This skill actually made SSR Yuki very valuable recently in the higher tower floors for yellow, as he provides a lot of survivability combined with SSR Shoko's heals. It's ironic that SSR Kaito is rather used for this skill than his Cursed Energy support. Now, his ultimate is also pretty good, does alright damage. It buffs all allies' curse technique damage by 60% and by another 80% if they're yellow. It also increases his curse energy consumption efficiency, which also makes his curse energy issues slightly less annoying. Now, is he worth summoning for? Fuck no. You have Zone Yuji, and of course Domain Expansion Gojo are literally the next characters. So unless you're a Giga Will, you should literally 100% skip this motherfucker. There's no reason to. There's already a bunch of characters as it is that are going to be coming out within this next month that are literally top tier. Like I just mentioned, you have Zone Yuji, Domain Expansion Gojo, and then I didn't even include the fact that we're also going to be getting Sukuna too, like a couple weeks into the half anniversary, right? So it's just like those characters are coming, and you want to have those 3 characters, mainly Domain Expansion Gojo, and then obviously Sukuna right after, and then Zone Yuji obviously being the least priority of the 3. But yeah, anyways, like I said, this character is a skip, kind of a waste of time, unfortunately. You could just use the rare Kaito and you will fulfill the needs that you can get out of him. But it's not like this character is completely terrible. It's just his rare version is just better, and that's free basically. So everybody should have him. So now let's actually go into the teams and then, obviously go over the showcase of the character. All right, so we have 2 formations. We obviously have the normal team formation where you would use them in a standard team, just kind of doing content normally, right? So as you can see, we have Mai as our debuffer with the follow-up attacks. Then we have Yaga, who's obviously going to debuff the enemies, increase our damage output, help our yellows do more damage. On top of that, he will be debuffing them with, attacks, meaning that Mai can follow up on them. We have Yuki, of course, he is the star right now, so we're going to be showcasing him. And we have Gojo because he's going to be the main carry. Nanami's just in the background as support. Either we don't really need him here, but we just have him here just in case. Memories, Unity, we have this puddle. This increases the yellow damage for your team. With Junpei Memory, this is going to kind of help, you know, our Kaito kind of maintain his curse energy problems. And then obviously we do have Gojo on non-standard because that's the quickest way to just kind of ult and just do damage, right? Very simple, very straightforward. It's one of the best, you know, curse damaging, you know, memories in the game. Now for our nuking team, we have Domain Megami. Obviously, he's kind of a standard in every nuke team just because of what he can do. Then we have Yaga again. Then, of course, because, you know, he's going to be helping our yellows, and he's also a good debuffer. And then we have Yuki, because, again, he is the star. And then we have Gojo again, right, as the carry. Now, Gojo this time is going to be using Pride, because this is going to maximize our overall amount of damage when you're kind of trying to nuke in one singular scenario. Pride is going to be way better off than non-standard for higher damage numbers. Anyways, without further ado, let me just go back to the teams, kind of show you my skill levels. Oops. So these are my skill levels. And then we'll go to the nuke team. And these are the skill levels. So there you have it. You already know how much I have invested into the characters. Let's get on with the actual showcase itself and show you how much, well, not how much, but what we can do with this Kaito. All right, so we're here on the Kyoto Students Formidable Foe Challenge, or whatever you want to call it. We just have the standard team as we're going on about it. I'm not going to talk too much about the characters that you see on screen aside from Yuki, just because you should already know what these characters do. I've done showcases on them. I've talked about their kit thoroughly before. There's nothing to really talk about them. So obviously you should know what you should be doing with these characters straight off the bat anyways. Right. Now for Yuki, his biggest problem is obviously the cursed energy problems, right? So first up, you're not going to want to use any of his skills because you still need the cursed energy. So what you're going to do is you're going to use the Junpei memory straight away and use skill 1. This is going to bolster how much cursed energy he has, so you can kind of maintain it better. And then obviously for Gojo, we can just start buffing and then, you know, do some damage after when we're ready to go. Click the darkness, that's good. Skill 1, skill 3, and now for Yuki, now we have 60 curse energy. So all we have to do now is just kind of alternate between skill 2 and skill 3, right? And with the Junpei memory, this will kind of help maintain the consistency with our, you know, curse energy. So we're going to skill 2 here, and then we're just going to buff. He's dead. Then we'll skill 3 again. Skill 3 her. Then we'll just skill 3 here because we already used skill 2 last turn. And then we'll buff again with Gojo. Stunned our Gojo, which is actually kind of annoying, but that's fine. So this, and then we go back into skill 2 again. You see, and then we'll just kind of maintain it, right? And then next turn we'll have the Junpei memory again, so it's like, you know, all good. But yeah, as you can see, the biggest problem with Yuki is, of course, the fact that he is going to be having cursed energy problems, trying to maintain our cursed energy for our entire team. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous, but I mean, that's how it is, right? So to me, that's the biggest problem with this character is the cursed energy problems. If there wasn't that many cursed energy problems to himself, then we wouldn't have an issue here. And yeah, that's basically it. I don't think they kill here, right? No. Means we do get to nuke him here. But yeah, like I mentioned, the SSR version of Kaito, when you're trying to use him for the cursed energy things, obviously he can buff a little bit of your damage, but when you're trying to use him for the cursed energy things, he's less consistent than the, of course, rear Kaito, and that's the biggest problem with this character, why I don't feel like he's kind of worth going after, right? Especially with such, you know, such characters coming out in a short time, you know, like Zone Yuji and of course Team Gojo, and then obviously Sukuna right after, right? So that's going to be the normal team showcase. Now we're going to move on to the nuke team. All right, so we're here on floor 26. We're obviously doing the nuke team. So as you can see, we're already on the final turn of what we're going to nuke. Kind of skip through the hassle of making you watch the setup and all that good stuff. Well, I say good stuff, but it really isn't that good. It's just kind of plain stuff. Anyways, you're going to see that we do have 1 debuff and 2 debuffs here of damage taken increased by 99%. Obviously, because I'm not at max with my Megami. I'm pretty sure, right? I'm not at max yet. Oh yeah, I am. Well, either way, it's basically almost 100%. So we're going to get the 3rd stack right now. So that's how you know we are in the 3rd turn of Shadow Garden. So we're going to get that final stack right here. Then in terms of debuffs from, of course, you know, our Yaga, we already have 1, 2, 3, right? We have 3 already, and we're about to get the 4th one right now with another skill 3. Now I could ult, but the boss doesn't have that much HP left, so I'm a little bit worried that I might kill if I do ult, which is not good for us because then we won't be able to kind of get to Yuki and Gojo for their ult. We're just going to use skill 3 here and hope that between Megami and Yaga they do not kill. Then obviously with, of course, our Yuki, we're going to use the memory. Now we could have used it earlier, right? Like while we were in Shadow Garden, but I was worried that if I had that 20% co-attribute damage that would increase for those 3 turns, I think I would have just killed him before I even got to the final turn. So we're going to use it on the final turn alongside Yuki's ult, which is going to buff our curse technique damage for, you know, Gojo, and obviously if you're yellow, even more. Then we're going to use Pride with, of course, the ult on Gojo. Now, obviously, Gojo has 1 stack of Pride already, you know, so I'm going to be able to stack the 2nd time. On top of that, you can see I have 1, 2, 3 damage increases already from his skill 2. Remember, it buffs for 4 turns, but obviously one of the turns that you do attack, you do lose it, so you'll only have the buff for 3 turns anyway, so you only need 3 stacks of the skill 2, which obviously I already have. And yeah, we're just gonna ult. So now we just have to hope between Megami and Yaga that they do not crit and kill. Okay, they didn't, which is perfect. Now we can actually kind of showcase everything, right? Okay, so obviously he's not going to do that much damage, but he did do like almost 2 mil. It's pretty decent damage for a support character. Now Gojo's going to come in and do his Giga Nuke. Yeah, he was doing like 4 mil almost each hit, basically. We had 2 mil from 2 mil and then 1 mil from the combo attack, and we got 22 mil basically. So we did like 19 mil or whatever with our yellow Gojo there. On top of the fact that we do have a character who's kind of supporting us with Curse Energy, you know, regen, which, I mean, honestly, he's not really the best at. I feel like the rare version is a lot better, but he's also boosting your damage for your team a lot, you know, if you're a yellow team. So he's really good on the mono yellow team, but he's still going to have those cursed energy problems until you ult, where then he'll have that cursed energy consumption efficiency buff, which will allow him to be able to use his skills more frequently and have an easier time doing it because they will cost all, you know, 5 cursed energy less, which is really good. Now, hopefully, I feel like in the future, they can buff him by kind of removing these cursed energy restrictions and lowering the amount and cost for his skill 2. Once that happens, he's going to be way better than the rare Yuki. He's going to be way better. But until then, until he finally gets that buff, he's just going to be a worse version of the rare one, unfortunately. But yeah, unique in his own way, but also not, since, you know, rare Yuki exists. I do hope so in the future with a buff. That would help me kind of use him a lot more, because I feel like he definitely would be just based off of what we have on paper, he sounds really good. It's just the problem is the curse energy problems. They just don't help the character. It's very, very bad. Very, very bad. And I don't know why they didn't just give it to him. It's not like it's going to make him busted when we have characters like SSR Shoko, which kind of sustain your whole fucking entire team with no effort at all, and also buffs. And then, you know, it's just ridiculous that we have all these other crazy characters and then they kind of go iffy on him just because he has curse energy regen. But yeah, anyways, that's going to be the showcase. I appreciate y'all boys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.